You turn one of those lights on. Welcome back. We are Long Box Diving, and where we explore comics and story arcs that we pull from the Long Box. I am D. This is
E.
And Jay did not want to join us this evening. This is our thing, where we quick fire review this week's comic haul, the comics that we got, the comics that we kind of showed off the other day. And so now we're actually going to be showing, hey, what comics we got, what we thought about it, all our impressions, things of that sort. So we're actually going to start out with
a good one.
A good one.
Thank the Lord.
All right. We're going to start out with literally, in my opinion, hey, Tom's Comics and Review. How you doing? We're going to start out with, my opinion, is the best comic of the week.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes.
I think it was the best comic of the week. It was fantastic. It was well written. It was great art, and it was fire. It is.
It was lit.
X-Men and the Fantastic Four. X-Men and the Fantastic Four. This is by Chip Zdarsky, and then you had the Dotsons were on it. Hey, Comics for All People, how you doing?
What's up?
And they did the art on it. Now, this was this brings back all the way back with the House of X, Powers of X. Franklin Richards is hey Hack 79. Franklin Richards is a mutant, but he's not been to Krakoa, and so Professor X decides to kind of put a team together to go get him. Now, why? I think that kind of borderline, since he's still a child, wasn't that borderline on kidnapping?
Yes.
But Mama Bear had none of it.
Nope.
Which was cool. And Dad, on the other hand, Dad would, he didn't. But there's a couple of issues I had with it. One, Kitty Pryde. Now, my issue is I like this Kitty Pryde a lot better than the Marauder Kitty Pryde. But the problem is that's not the Marauder Kitty Pryde. Where's the red coat? Where's the knuckle tattoo? Where's the whiskey? I don't know.
She gave it to Wolverine.
She gave it to somebody, but she didn't have it. Normally, she'd be drinking it. The other thing that kind of irritated me a little bit was Pyro. If I can find Pyro in here. Here you go. Now look at Pyro. Now, in the Marauders, Pyro has a face tattoo, and here he doesn't. That's not a writing issue. That was more of an editorial thing. But the comment, the things in here, the story was great. Professor X comes in. We're going to take your son. Like, no, you're not just going to come in here and take our kid and tell us how we're going to raise our kid and tell us, what we can and cannot do with our child.
She put Magneto in a hamster ball.
She did. She put Magneto in a hamster ball and threw him across the room. Great use of Sue Storm's powers, or Sue Richards' powers, and throwing him across the room. Hey, Grayman. And I thought that was fantastic. I also like the dialogue.
Ben had the best lines
right in here. All right, so he's like, hey, so Stormy, you think this is a good idea? She goes, I do. Mutants are hated and feared. Millions of us has died on Genosha as a result of that hatred. The only way to properly protect Franklin is to be strong together. He goes, I don't know. Sounds to me like the least safe place for a mutant godson is on New Genosha. Perfect. I mean, that was fantastic. Then, of course, he tries to run through the gate, finds out his dad had low-jacked him. So he basically can't go through the Krakoa gates, which is kind of, I understand why the dad did it.
It's crappy. It's a crappy dad.
Kind of shady, but I understand why dad did it. And I can't say that I wouldn't have done it myself.
Well, you can relate.
I can relate because, I don't trust my kids all the time to do the right thing. I don't know how many of your parents.
Or Magneto.
Or now Magneto is just awful.
Professor X.
And then they ended up sneaking aboard the boat and ended up with Dr. Doom. Now, this is fantastic. The writing in it was great. The art was good. The one-liners through this thing was fantastic. If you're not getting this, try to get it. It's a definite recommend. The best of the week.
Yeah, Ben had some good lines. Like, it's getting hard for me to convincing these kids.
Right in Reed Richards' face. It's hard for me to. I'm telling these kids, I'm trying to convince these kids you're a good guy, and then you go and do crap like this.
Yeah.
All right, but great issue, great writing, and then we go right into another Chip Zdarsky story. Is
like the second best book here.
Probably the second best book of the week. Daredevil 17. Daredevil 17. Now, writing top notch, but I'm not a huge fan of the art in here.
Nah, Matt's face is a little pudgy.
I mean, it's okay.
Oh, it's not bad art.
It's not bad.
We've seen better.
I've seen better. But, Matt not dressing up as Daredevil all the way through this. Great. Matt realizing Elektra used him and kind of as a chump. Good. the mob between, Kingpin and the Owlman and Hammer and, all that was great. And then the whole scene where Matt was confronting the Seawards. I think it was Seawards. I can't remember. Stromwing. Confronting them in the museum. That was fantastic. I mean, the move here where he jumps over the guy's fist.
Ooh.
Jump over the guy's fist. And then he ended up doing this, back somersault. I mean, right? It's not very. Yeah.
I mean, he's blind. I can't do that, and I'm not blind.
Blind and doing that, but the line here is like the old me would have punched them and would fight until my knuckles bled. But he decided not to do that and to go the new way, the new Daredevil, right? The new Daredevil that's only stealing money from bad guys now, not actually fighting them. But that is good. I mean, I like seeing Daredevil go through that, where he's having to go through these character developments where he's reevaluating his life. And is what I'm doing the right thing? Can I make myself better? Can I improve? Especially since he got really bad and he ended up accidentally killing a dude. So yeah, CFAP, I'm with you on that. This one of the best books, all around one of the best runs I've read of any series right now is Daredevil with Chip Zdarsky.
Especially when you have some others in here to compare it to.
Yes, especially when there's some others that weren't so good, but
my word,
not Chip Zdarsky, but just. All right, yeah. Let's actually talk about that.
Yes, please.
All right. So,
Marauders.
To me, the worst book of the week is Marauders. Marauder 7, and honestly, to be straight up, I've dropped it off my pull list. I'm honestly bored out of my mind reading it. It does not interest me in any way. I mean, Gary Dugan, I like his Savage Avengers. I like some of the other stuff he does. And he's a pretty solid writer. He's not top tier, but he's solid. I mean, he writes some good stories. But in this one, honestly,
they played golf.
Yeah, they're. I mean, where's the golf scene?
It's farther in the back.
There. Yeah, I mean,
they were teeing it up and everything. My word.
I don't like watch golf on TV.
I don't want to read golf.
I don't want to read about golf. Yes, X-Force is the best Dawn of X book out there, and by default, X-Men is the next one, because I've dropped Excalibur, I've dropped Marauders, and I've dropped Fallen Angels because Fallen Angels art was just. The story is good, but the art was. Now in here, the only reason I actually bought this book was to find out what happened to Lockheed. That's honestly the only reason I bought the book. And it ends it with no answer on what happened to Lockheed.
Nope.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to buy the next book to figure out what happened to Lockheed. Now, I make the kid here read the comics.
It's not a make.
Before we, well, not really make. He likes reading. But, I mean, and he came out and he's like, this is boring. Now, my 16-year-old, like, this is a boring book. I don't get it. It's just stupid. It's kind of hard to sell a book to the younger crowd when they read it and they go, and especially when I read it and go, but I didn't tell him how I felt about it. I let him judge on his own. And what was your opinion?
The art was inconsistent. There was 2 pages of action, and that's it.
A lot of talking.
It's a comic book, not a novel.
I've seen some of the previews for him. Some of them look pretty good. we're looking forward to Wolverine for sure, and we're looking forward. I just saw something about Juggernaut, a solo Juggernaut book that looks interesting, but I haven't really read into it yet. The giant size Jean and Emma Frost, I don't know about yet. We'll see when it gets here. I like buying at least the first couple and judging on that and decide if I like it or not. And so we'll be getting it for sure, but
give it an honest try.
We'll give it an honest try. It's my prerequisite is the art has to be. I can look at it. If the art's like I go like this or go, I don't understand what's going on. Nightcrawler did look good. If I don't understand what's going on with the art, like with Fallen Angels, I had to sometimes go back a couple pages because there's so many eye shots like this. I had to go back so many pages to figure out who said what. Was it X-23 or was it Psylocke? And then I finally figured, okay, Psylocke has purple eyes unless her head's turned, then it's darker. And I'm not sure if it's just black. So it was confusing. I don't like that. So art's got to be, I can look at it. And the story, I like action. I like some character development, but I don't like tons of dialogues. And even Chris Claremont sometimes did this where it's just balloons and balloons of. I'll read a novel if I want all that words, which I do read lots of.
The thing on the covers, Superman's head's tiny.
Yeah, Superman's head did look tiny. So yeah, Nightcrawler looked good. But yeah, the one I'm really looking for is Wolverine right now. Benjamin Percy has been killing it on X-Force.
Yeah.
And I really think you'll do a real good job with Wolverine. I mean, did you see in X-Force, the last number 4, I think, where Wolverine went through the gate and got chopped in half?
Ooh.
Right? He then crawls, chopped in half, and kills a dude with his claws, mounts him as the other guys come toward him and then growl and kind of, I don't know how he did it, but he leaped off the dead man's chest and then got bullet riddled. And then they showed the picture of him laying there with bullet, I mean, just like his eyes like bullet shot out. And then Forge comes through the gate and grabs the torso from the other side and the legs, and then grabs him and smashes him back together. And it says, "Hurry up and heal." That was awesome.
Oh, you gotta love.
That was awesome.
You gotta love healing factor.
And apparently, Domino's losing her luck. So I don't know where, but Benjamin Percy's been killing it, and I think he's going to do a really good job on Wolverine.
If the prediction knows that, will it be able to predict
better? That's a whole nother video. All right. So then the next one was Justice League 40. Justice League 40. Vendetti took over. Mankey's doing the art now. I'm not sure who did the cover on this.
Because the art inside Superman looks normal.
Brian Hitch and Jeremiah Skipper. Brian Hitch, no, but yeah, if you look at this, Superman's head doesn't look like it fits his body quite right. Now, maybe we're just being a little hard on it, nitpicky, but it doesn't look a little odd. But the story in here was great. The art was great. I mean, look at this.
That looks a lot better. Actually, really good.
I mean, all of them look great in that. And when there were several shots in here, that's
dope.
With Madame Xanadu. Fantastic. All right, so basically, the Eradicator, if you remember when Superman died, you got all these, they split into multiple, you had, the Superboy, which, Connor Kent, or it wasn't Connor Kent, but then you had Steel, and then you had the AI from the, Fortress of Solitude, and then you had the space astronaut who became a cyborg Superman. But the Eradicator here is one of those, right? And so he's gone and grabbed all the Daxamites that were on this separate planet and has turned them into Kryptonians without the Kryptonian problems. Yeah, I have Batman on my list as well. It's coming soon. But they actually did. I mean, this story was fantastic, and the Eradicator show up on Earth. And basically, there's a whole fleet of Supermen without Superman's weaknesses. The only thing he goes, Batman looks at Superman and goes, "What do you hate?" And Superman's like, "I don't hate anything. but I really dislike magic. So Batman went, I'm going to go find Madame Xanadu because that's like the only one that's around. Justice League Dark's too busy to deal with a world-ending problem. Let's go get Madame Xanadu. And Madame Xanadu just kind of wrapped Batman up, man. That was great.
These weird purple tentacles. It's gross.
Yes, weird purple tentacles, crazy stuff, but you see her on the cover. So this was a recommend. It was really good. Hey, Southern Comic Geek, how you doing, man?
I think he got rid of the lead problem too.
Yeah, what it said was that Eradicator bred out of the Daxamites all the Kryptonian vulnerabilities. So my understanding is Kryptonite and the Red Sun, and I don't know about lead, but it's what it said. And so what are you still vulnerable to? And magic was the only thing they brought up. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to play out, but maybe it will. But right now, all they have is Madame Xanadu to fight like a whole legion of Supermen without kryptonite problems. Hey, Rob Boswell, how you doing? Southern Comic Geek. All right. And welcome to everybody in the chat right now. So the next quick fire is
Batman vs. Deathstroke.
Batman. All right. Batman number 88.
Yeah. Pretty cool looking cover.
Pretty cool looking cover. Batman 88.
Who's
Tinian and March. Now Tony Daniel's doing the cover. Tony Daniel, man, his covers are crazy. He does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a Daxamite who was also a Green Lantern actually show up on Earth. Most Daxamites are actually still vulnerable to Earth's environment. There are things in Earth's environment that makes Daxamites weak and sick. So they actually had to take this Daxamite and put him in a chamber and actually adjust the sun rays and solar, all that kind of stuff, to get him to adapt to Earth's atmosphere. But part of the thing they said they did to these Daxamites, that Eradicator did, was to make them not vulnerable like Daxamites either. So not sure if that's going to play out like that. Yes, Saddam, yeah, exactly. He's actually the guy that was on the ground in that first page, falling out of the sky. But, of course, now he is a non-combatant, and he won't fight. He's a peace lover.
Pacifist. So, that's the word I was thinking of.
But, yes, Batman 88. And you're right, Rob, this is a great cover. And Tony Daniel, he's done, I think, 2 of the covers, maybe all 3 in the last 3. But, man, it is great. Batman 88 was really good. So, basically, 5 assassins show up in town. And Batman, goes in and takes them out, puts them in the jail. Cheshire was able to escape. And that was the last issue, is him capturing Cheshire. But now we kind of find out there is a guy called the Designer.
Yeah.
A guy called the Designer. And somehow Joker, Penguin, Enigma, so the Riddler, and Catwoman, I don't remember if there was another one, they were involved with setting up this something that would take out Batman. Now, of course, Catwoman is, with Batman now, like with Batman. So, but she's still involved, and the guy that she helped design the plan to take Batman out has now showed up in town. So there's 5 assassins in town: Merlin, Cheshire, Flagman, Mouth Dude, I can't remember his name. Mouth Dude, and of course, Slade.
What's his name now?
Now, Slade is not there for money. Slade is there for something else other than money, because he was promised money, and he's like, you can't afford me. Now, Penguin breaks into the prison and takes them out to get rid of them or to buy them off to try to stop the Designer from coming. It doesn't work. We get some. We get some great shots in here. All right, so and then the introduction of a new Batmobile. Ooh. All right, this is called the Halo, I believe, and I think it was called the Halo. But basically, all he has to do is set it on a car, and actually, it's called the Echo. You put it on a car, and it transforms the car into what makes it look like a Batmobile. It actually interfaced with Wayne Tech in the car. Now, it's not armored like a Batmobile. It just looks like one, which was kind of cool. Catwoman, I mean, she's looking good.
She's going through a range of emotions.
Yes, especially when she gets knocked into the grave. We have great fight scenes.
Ooh, look at that chest pop.
I mean, Batman gets stabbed in the back with Penguin's. I mean, great stuff here. Penguin gets his throat. Yeah, I mean, and then there. Now, guess who's in the grave?
Penguin.
So, is he dead? I don't know.
Ooh.
The story right now is I mean, it's got so much going on. It's only been 3 issues, and right now we find out there's 5 assassins. There's a guy out in the background that's the designer who's kind of orchestrating this, and then to come find out the Joker, the Penguin, all these older villains are the ones that designed the plan to begin with, are now trying to stop the plan from happening. We're getting, a jet sled that was shot out of a railgun last issue. Now we get this Echo thing where you put it on a car and it transforms. That's the Batman that I remember I fell in love with, man. That's the kind of Batman, and he's investigating a plot. He's trying to figure out what's going on, but of course he's getting distracted. He's got to save people at the same time. It's a really good story, and I don't know how long they're planning to keep Tinian on that, but right now I'm loving it. It's a high recommend for me. All right, so here was the other one, Star Wars Darth Vader #1.
Yeah, he is.
We picked it up because now my understanding, yeah, exactly, Hack. Batman is back on track, in my opinion. Definitely back on track. I do like the relationship between Catwoman and Batman right now, the way it's written in here, because it actually sounds like how my wife and I speak to each other. Hey, you're busy. I'll talk to you later. When you're done, you can pay attention to me. I mean, I've had that conversation. But yes, Vader. Now, the reason we picked this up, several reasons. One, it was a #1. And I don't pick up a lot of Star Wars, but it's Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader on the cover. It's a cool looking. Yeah, exactly. It's a cool looking cover. And from my understanding, because Disney is doing Star Wars, these are all canon now. So what happens in here is canon. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting because I've read some of the Legends books. I like them. So we went through here and basically we pick up like right when Luke Skywalker gets his arm chopped off. I am your father, Luke. I am your father, right? And then and then you join me on the dark side. And then Luke falls down, and then we basically see Vader's like, I don't give a crap about anything else. Now, supposedly this happens between episode 5 and 6, right? So all this is supposed to be canon, and that means it really happened between 5 and 6. Vader kind of leaves. I'm done. I'm gonna go figure out why I have a kid that I didn't know about and why he was kept from me. And so he goes basically back to Tatooine, where Luke was raised, and you got to see some interesting use of the Force powers. Yeah. When he goes to the graves and it has dust all over him, he uses Force powers. Let me see if I can find that page. Look at this. I guess it's a little hard to see on the screen, but he uses Force powers to blow like the dust off the tombstones. We see a part where they come in and start bombing him, and he just literally walks out of the fire.
Vader's being kicked butt.
And then the ship's coming at him, and he doesn't do the whole Rey backflip over the thing. No, he just stands right in front of it and goes, it's cool. I mean, it was cool stuff. Now, the writer has asked us not to spoil the end, so I am going to try to, not to spoil the end. But, we did see that. That was a cool image, too. I mean, the whole background fire and Darth Vader's walking off. Perfect. Are we done yet? And he's like, no, droid.
You should.
Yeah, definitely read it. It was a good read. I mean, it's a recommend, and it's in the middle tier of what I read. It's not Daredevil. It's not X-Men or Fantastic Four, but it was good. It was solid. It was definitely worth the $4.99 I spent for it.
At least just
for now.
Do it for the ending that we're not allowed to tell you.
Yeah, in the ending, is like, what? And it's canon. So it's like, what? Okay. Yeah, I get it. All right. And then, all right. So I can't
we
say.
We really shouldn't have ended on this note.
We're going to review X-Men Fantastic Four again right after this to bring it back. But Savage Avengers 0. Savage Avengers 0. Now, I can't say it was bad. It wasn't bad. But it's not what I thought it was.
No,
I don't know if anybody else picked this up. Savage, I like Savage Avengers. Derry Dugan.
It's not Marauders. I can tell you that.
It's not Marauders. It's not terrible because it's not new. There is a few pages of new. Basically,
dudes did the opposite of Superman's head.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And then we've got Cable here, right? So Doctor Strange shows up on Krakoa. There's a nice line here. He goes, "You're human. You're not even supposed to be on this island." So he goes, "Fine." So he starts levitating. He goes, "Now that I'm no longer on Krakoa, please let my old friend Magic know that I'm here." It was awesome.
Now that I'm not on Krakoa. All
right. So technically, Zeros are supposed to be like a prequel to what's happening. I believe this is actually occurring between 7 and 8. Because it basically is just Doctor Strange goes to Krakoa to talk to Magic to let Magic know that Colin Gath is back. And then we flip to
whatever that is.
This story by Chris Claremont, drawn by John Romita. All right. Which is a good story.
A fun dream.
All right. So it's starring the Uncanny X-Men. It has the Avengers in it. It has Spider-Man in it. It's basically where Colin Gath takes over this portion of the world and changes it all back. I mean, we got Storm and Callisto, which was cool because if you watch Marauders, they kind of threw knives at each other, which was cool because now we're reading a book where they're actually trying to stab each other with knives. And so he's got Doctor Strange all wrapped up and can't do spells. Everybody thinks they're something else. He's got the New Mutants. Professor X is wrapped up with Caliban.
Yeah.
In this weird ghoul type form. So we got a lot of that. And then we got, Captain America, Star Fox, Black Widow. You see all these, characters that we know. And then we see Spider-Man. Look at this,
Ooh. Dude strung up.
Spider-Man. You see some of the New Mutants down there. Vision, Scarlet Witch. All these people are in this. So this was a solid story, from 1980s.
It was a solid story. Just one of already read.
But it's one I've read, and again, it's a Chris Claremont thing. So there's lots of word bubbles, but it's basically they fit 2 other comics within this comic, and then printed it as a 0. We got Warlock in here. Here's where Warlock and Storm merge. This was really cool. Warlock and Storm merge. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And then it comes back into the current story, which is again before Savage Avengers 7, I guess, where he's with Magic. She goes, "How is he still alive? And how is he more powerful than he was before?" Great answer from Doctor Strange. He's a cannibal. All right. Then it ends on this. This is a great picture. Look at this. She looks like she should be in the Vader comic. That was very cool looking. It goes, "Let the old man come. I will destroy him."
I will destroy him.
Great stuff.
Magic.
So this was Savage Avengers 0. Again, it was good. It was a good story. What I don't like is that I paid $4.99 for a reprint of a story I have in a box already.
A story he already has.
That I have, and I didn't know that's what I was paying for. It was in my pool. I didn't look at it. It was good. I wouldn't have paid $4.99 for it, because really you're only getting 6 pages of new comic, and that's.
It was kind of a ripoff.
It was kind of a ripoff. That was not I'm not happy about it. So the story is a recommend, but I do not recommend buying it.
Go back and buy the original.
If that makes sense. I would go buy the back issue and then tear out the 6 pages and read that. Basically, and it's just Strange telling Magic that Colin Gass back. There. Now just go buy the back issues. You're done. I saved you a buy. I saved you $4.99.
You're welcome. You can send that to us, by the way.
Yes, that's right. All right, you get cost money savings by watching this program. All right.
This is a book I didn't read.
Ravencroft #1. Now, I do have a full review on this coming out.
Ooh, you do.
I don't know.
I'm gonna watch
Saturday, maybe later tonight. I think probably later tonight. Or maybe Saturday. But Ravencroft #1. This is a good series. I mean, look at the cover. Now, there's not glare on that cover.
No.
That's just the colors.
Yeah.
It is spooky. It is creepy.
Ominous.
If you like Lovecraftian horror, if you like vampires, werewolves, all that kind of stuff, creepy insane asylums where they're surgically removing people's arms for no reason.
The game Outlast. That's what it reminds me of.
Yes. Now, the first one-shots, Sabretooth and Sinister chopped Wolverine's arm off. And then they dissected a werewolf doctor in the basement, ripped her open and dissected her right there. Crazy stuff. So this story is actually really good, but...
Wait, who's insane? Which ones are the insane?
Yeah, definitely Lovecraftian horror. It has something called the Unwanted, and some of them have the tentacles and the whole 9 yards. And they look vampirish. If you've seen Dark Souls 3 and Anor Londo, the boss up on top of the Anor Londo temple that looks like this big sludge monster.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Unwanted looks like. It looks like it's down the throne. And then now this is bought and run on a crazy piece of land that the Carnage symbiote was first found. It's also haunted. Evil stuff happens there all the time. And then they build an insane asylum on it. And then they have crazy surgeries and stuff going on in this place. And then it's bought by the Kingpin. And then they put some people in charge that is a very, very iffy
more
leadership. And I mean, the best doctor they bring in is Moonstone. All right. So look at this dude. And he's over here in the tub over here, over there, right there. His name is Freak. Yeah, very iffy. All right, so his name is Freak, and I love this line. I got blown up when I fought Deadpool, and I really didn't want to have that happen again. Honestly, it was pretty painful, and parts of me ended up all over the place. They said my spleen ended up in New Jersey. Can you believe it? And then my large intestine, you don't even want to hear where that ended up. All right, so this was written by Frank Terry. The art in it, again, it's okay.
That's literally anyone who fights Deadpool.
I felt like there was a lot of just straight on angles. There was some good movement in it. In fighting. I mean, like this right here.
Punch.
But honestly, most of the art's really straightforward angles. It's okay. And then, but full review on it later. I think Saturday sometime. I don't remember when it comes out. But I do have a full review with all the edited video and all prettied up. All right, so basically that's our quick fire review. Again, top recommend.
Yep.
Fantastic Four, X-Men, followed closely by Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
17. Fantastic stuff. The ones that are in the medium, Batman was really good too.
The one comic you put down.
And then the 3 in the middle. Hey, Eric Green, how you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, and by the way, we are doing a 200 sub giveaway Sunday night. Now,
4 comics. Preview.
Give you a quick preview since you guys are here of what we're giving away Sunday night. We got Dr. Doom 2099 number 1. We're giving that away Sunday night. We're also giving away Avengers number 180.
If we're being honest, you have to be there to receive it.
You do have to be there in the chat. That way I can write your name down.
Yeah.
And yes, Gray Man, we are going to do overseas shipping this time. We looked into it. We think we can handle it.
You are included.
And this one, Avengers 198, is also going to be given away. And
Nice.
then the variant cover of Martian Manhunter #1,
which is actually pretty cool.
All right, so those are the 4 comics we're giving away Sunday night. So if you're here, 5:30, join us, and we'll be doing our comic haul review, some news, and we'll be doing the drawing for those 4 comics. So hopefully y'all can join us. All right, so recommend but not recommended to buy. Because the Claremont story was great, and the story in here was good. Just don't pay $4.99 for it. And then, you know, my opinion, I know some people really love this comic, but not a recommend. It bores me. I don't get it. And nobody's acting the way they should be acting. And Lockheed, I still don't know what happened to Lockheed, and I don't know what happened to Kitty. And it's not. I'm not.
They basically just found him.
All right. So guys, that is our quick fire review. I appreciate everybody that showed up. Thank you for joining us tonight and joining in the conversation. It was awesome. We had a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys Sunday. You have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, we're not doing a live stream tomorrow. Sunday, yeah.
No, yeah. Well, we may. Yeah, we'll be around somewhere in the chats or
Saturdays. Tomorrow is just going to be organizing everything.
Yeah, yeah. I have not resorted all my boxes in a while, so I now have like 30 short boxes in the living room because that is what we're doing tomorrow is resorting everything. Hopefully, again, we'll see everybody Sunday at 5:30 Eastern, where we're going to start with our comic haul and giveaway, and we'll see y'all later. Have a good night.
Night. Enjoy your weekend.